Welcome to the Courting Happiness podcast. This is a space where self-care becomes part of your day. A space where you learn evidence-based strategies to help your life, share it with those you love, and cultivate well-being at work. I'm your host, Dr. Kortni Alston. I'm a former news director, television reporter turned happiness scholar, TEDx speaker, and transformational trainer. I also understand hardships. While working my dream job in television, I lived a nightmare suddenly becoming a young widow after 86 days of marriage. I became committed to learning more about resilience, healing, and happiness. This is how I discovered my area of research, which is positive psychology. Now I'm living my calling of training individuals and organizations on happiness. And my new chapter begins with being happily engaged. The Courting and Courting Happiness is about a true courtship. I like to say commitment with happiness. The K in courting stands for the vulnerability of sharing my story, inspirational interviews with phenomenal people, the infusion of positive psychology, and so much more. You'll learn how to commit to your well-being one episode at a time. I hope you subscribe and share. So, are you ready? Let's get started. Welcome to episode 45. I'm Dr. Kortni Alston. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much for listening. Today we're going to talk about laughter. To be more specific, laughter yoga. That's right, I said it, laughter yoga. We have an expert who is known as the Laughter Man. Pete Cann is on a fun-filled mission to bring positive benefits of laughter to the world. Since discovering laughter yoga, Pete has transformed his family and his business. You'll learn more about the benefits of your well-being. It's truly something you certainly don't want to laugh off. So let's get started laughing. Pete, thank you so much for being here. I have been looking forward to this interview. I've said to myself, I think I'm going to laugh a lot. Actually, I know I'm going to laugh a lot. And so there's so many questions that I have for you. But the first one happens to be, because this is what you're a teacher in. And I know most people may wonder, well, what that is. Tell us, because you are a teacher in laughter yoga. What is laughter yoga?
So thank you, Dr. Kortni, for having me on. And what a great first question. What is laughter yoga? Because a lot of people get a bit like, yoga, are we doing downward dogs? Do we need yoga mats? Yes. We don't need any of that. So the yoga bit of laughter yoga is all about the breathing. It's all about yogic breathing. So laughter yoga is a concept that was created in 1995 by a doctor called Madan Kataria in Mumbai. And he was in a park with 5 of his friends. He knew there was benefits of laughter. And he started telling a few jokes with a few of his friends. And after a couple of days, he started realizing that actually the jokes were getting a little bit stale. So he started bringing in a bit of childlike playfulness. So laughter yoga is like childlike play. It's basically the concept, the fact that your body doesn't know the difference between fake laughter and real laughter, which is really, really interesting, because when you do laughter yoga session, you fake laugh for you fake laugh for as long as it takes, but it takes about 5-6 minutes of fake continuous laughter before the real laughter starts coming. And then you're in this contagious laughter loop, which is the magical place. And, there's so many obviously benefits when it comes to laughter, with regards to the release of endorphins, serotonin, dopamine. It makes you less stressed, less anxious. It connects us at a deeper level. We feel much safer when we laugh in an environment, and it's also a really good cardio workout. So Dr. Kortni, you've got to be ready today. We're going to have a bit of a workout, because Whoa. They say I know they say 10 minutes of laughter is like 15 minutes on the rowing machine, and I always say, wow. I know what I would prefer to do. So
Is that it? That's it. I'm all in if that's it. That is fantastic. And I love that you share there's so many benefits to this, right? In terms of of laughter and understanding the value of levity, and research supports this. And so
Mhm.
what I love is the fact that you are teaching people how to just, embrace all levels of levity. You gave us an idea of what it is. I'm so curious to kind of visualize, what does that look like when you're doing a session?
Okay, so let's go to an online session. That's probably because that's the world we live in at the moment. It is opening up, but an online session is, I first of all, I'll run through the different types of laughter that we have. Okay, so like I say, it's all about breathing and laughing. So the first thing, and Dr. Kortni, it'd be rude not to try a few for yourself and the listeners.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you
what we're
see
going to
that
do,
I'm already smiling, right?
you're there, you're there, you're there. So what we'll do, we just take a deep breath in, and we're just going to let out a long ha. Okay, so take a deep breath
Okay.
in. We're just going to go ha. Okay, so that's all laughter is just a ha, but it's a ha 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 ha. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take a deep breath in, and we're going to hold it for 5 seconds, and then we're going to laugh for 10 seconds, like it's the funniest thing we've heard all day. So we take a deep breath in, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and
Oh
and
boy.
that's how I warm up that's the start.
I love it.
It's so easy. It's so easy, but obviously there's a lot of people that don't find it easy to laugh, and I get that. But you literally like gently bring people in. So we just do that at the beginning, just get people loosened up, and then it's all about childlike play. So like they say that children laugh 200 to 300 times a day. Now, as adults, we maybe laugh 10, which is really
Wow.
crazy if you think about it. It's just like, well, when you walk past a playground at lunchtime and you hear the joy, don't you? You hear the laughter, and it just sounds amazing. Whereas it's, why can't we be childlike as adults? So the childlikeness is we do sort of like there's an exercise called the giggle phone, where you just put a cell phone to your ear, and there's no one on the phone, but you just laugh like it's the funniest thing you heard all day. So you put the phone to your ear and you start going and it just
And I
that's
can't help
just
but to laugh.
exactly. And it's like you do lots of different exercises like this. There's lots of movement. So again, it's not like yoga movements, but it's not stretching as such, but there's definitely lots of arms, lots of legs. You do a bit of like looking up, looking down, and just you're opening up your airwaves every time that you're doing all these different movements. And so that's sort of about 20 minutes we do that online when I'm doing an online session. And then as the session goes on, because it's all about prolonged laughter, so the longer, so at the beginning we did 10 seconds, but the last exercise I do is about 2 minutes, but it's a combination of lots of exercises, so you're laughing for 2 minutes constantly, and everybody on the screen is laughing and like genuinely laughing with each other. They're seeing, I go into workspaces where you see someone in accounts and someone in sales, and they're all just laughing at each other, and that connection is amazing. And then at the end of the session, I do a 5-minute grounding meditation. So I just bring everybody back down to a lovely, lovely just smile, where everyone's just gone into this nice peak of laughter, and then they just relax. And it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling, and I love it. I love it.
I love hearing about it. I'm already there in regards to the fact that it's really wonderful to be able to see people connect. I love what you're sharing in regards to the method. And I also really value the fact that you mentioned workplace. So bringing it to the workplace, what does that look like? Usually when an individual or an organizer from a company reaches out to you, what is usually their objective in terms of it affecting or it helping, right, their
Mhm.
workplace?
So most of the time it's their team meeting. So they've got a weekly meeting, and especially, again, let's talk about online, because the meetings, a lot of it's on Zoom, and there's Zoom fatigue. People are getting tired of looking at the screens all day, every day.
Yes.
And people are switching off from listening to whatever the manager's speaking about. And so they'll get me in as a 30-minute, like a bit of fun, but it is actually a well-being workout as well, and just to energize the room. So I usually come in, and when I speak to a team leader or supervisor, I say, where how long's the meeting for? They'll say, well, it's an hour. I was like, right, okay, do you want people to have a creative mindset? Are you trying to get people to be thinking and inputting into this meeting? And if it's a yes, I say, let me go first, because I'll get everyone's, because when you laugh, like all the neurons in the brain, there's so much positivity that you sit there and you have these mad ideas that are really creative. And actually, sometimes in a company, people can sit there for years and not suggest anything, and then if you open up these certain pathways, they suddenly just go, that might be a good idea. And then someone would just go, where did that come from? It's just like, I don't know. But so that's sort of how it looks like. It's like an energizer for team meetings, really.
I love that. It's an energizer, really gets people just going. And I also really value that it helps with innovation, because earlier you mentioned, and I find it's hard to believe, but I guess it would happen to be, right? Some people who might find it challenging to go through the exercise, because I say that because Pete just walked me through, and I'm just like so excited about it and already laughing, right? But what usually when you're seeing a person that's struggling, what is kind of the block? And what can we learn from that as it relates to trying to make sure that we're unlocking laughter in our life?
Yeah, I think a lot of the blockers are where people have maybe been programmed not to laugh. In this, it's we get to a certain stage in adulthood where laughter, it's like maybe not, it's sort of frowned upon to laugh, and especially sometimes at workplaces as well. They don't encourage you to be happy is not the right word, I suppose, but to be engaging and fun, have fun. So when I've done some rooms where it's been, for instance, like and I'm not tagging anybody in a certain type of person, but maybe sort of like I've done stuff with accountants, so it's a bit more of a serious role, a bit more, it's all about numbers, it's all about figures, it's about spreadsheets. And when they first turn up and they're looking at me, and just because I turn up with, first thing they see is this guy with this red hat on, just
I
looking,
love
and
it.
they're like, and they're going, okay, properly out of my comfort zone. But actually, within sort of 5-ish minutes, because of the way I do the set list, they before they know it, they're just doing it, and also all their colleagues are doing it, so they feel, I suppose, embarrassed that they're not doing it because everyone else is doing it, and it's that more of a copycat environment.
Got it. It's seeing what the group is doing, and then feeling a little bit more comfortable to be able to kind of let go when you think about it, because there's a level of vulnerability, right? When we're laughing. So
Massively.
so I can certainly see the challenges, in that. And so, as I sit here, and by the way, when Pete was talking about that red hat, he pulled out that red hat, which is an incredible, I love it. It is a beautiful hat in regards to that. It speaks creativity. It says a lot about the value of just having fun. And I'm so curious, and because I'm thinking to myself, what brings a person, because I think it's just so wonderful. How did this calling come to be? Because as I'm talking to Pete, I'm looking at his workspace, and it says #the laughter man. How did you turn into a laughter yoga instructor, and this whole mission as it relates to laughter?
So I run I'm a real businessman as well. This is a business. What am I talking about? Laughter is a business.
Yes.
But it's but when I say real, so I've run a business for 13 years, which is a chef agency. So we supply chefs to hospitality in the UK.
Wow.
And in so that's sort of what I've been doing, and that's the paid okay. Anyway, bit of background. So then in 2016, we go to a festival every single year. 2016, we went to the same festival, and I was walking through the Arboretum, and I heard laughter, and I thought to myself, there's going to be a comedian on stage. So as I walked around the corner, 100 people lying on the floor on their backs laughing, and I was just like, I know about a festival, but what is going on? And there was a sign saying laughter yoga daily at 11:30. So I went back and saw Chloe, my wife, and the kids, and I said, do you know what? Daddy's going to go and do laughter yoga tomorrow. Do you want to come? And they're like, no, Pete, go and enjoy yourself. So anyway, the next day I turn up, I rock up, and we do all the laughing and breathing exercises. So when we're in an in-person environment, you lie down at the end before the meditation. So when you lie down, all of your pressure points are on the floor. So actually, as you're laughing, everything's jiggling and wiggling away, and you're just uncontrollable laughter. And we were in that state for probably about 10 minutes, maybe even more. And then Steve, who was running it at the time, got everyone to just calm down a little bit. And this lady next to me went like that, and that was like boom, off we went again. And it was just magical. But sort of I suppose the reason I'm sort of talking about this is because that was when I discovered laughter. So I was already running a business, and I started then thinking, actually, so I went, okay, so the following year in 2017, I did all 4 days of laughter. I was like, I want more of this. And then I started bringing it into my business. So I started bringing it in on the morning basis. There were some other laughter yogis online that I started laughing with. And it was my secret power. It was my secret power where I could basically laugh for 10 minutes and then go and start being creative, create blogs, create email lists, or whatever that it was to do with the business. And then in 2019, I decided, I went to a retreat with some other business people, and I said, do you know what, can I try and run a laughter session? I'd not trained or anything to do this. And they were like, yeah, go on, Pete, let's do it. And so I went online, I was looking at lots of different videos and sort of cobbled together something. And I had all these quite successful business owners on the floor laughing, and they were just like loving it. And then that evening, because it was in the January, they turned around and we were planning what we were going to do in 2019. What's your one goal you want to do for yourself? And I was like, I want to become a laughter, I want to create a laughter club. And they were just like, you need to do this. And so 2019 is when I discovered like learned how to do it. The first session I did was 150 people. Wow. It was just like, yeah, it was amazing. It was just like such a great buzz for 2019. And I was at work every Friday. I didn't work. It was my mantra. I don't work Friday. So on a Friday, I was doing my laughter stuff. Obviously, then COVID came along in March, and just rewind to the hospitality bit. Obviously, hospitality shut down, which meant that our chef agency went from sort of 7 figures to virtually 0. And overnight, it was really quite a dark time for me, which because I was just, for a lot of people, we couldn't control anything, and usually it's nice in life where you if something's come to you, you can control it, can't you? Because you're like, well, actually that's happened, but it's cool because I know this and this. But with COVID, literally we couldn't do anything about it. So I started laughing online with other yogis again, what I was doing 4 times a day, because I knew how it was for my mental health. I knew the benefits that laughter had for me, and it really helped in that dark sort of really initial month when everything was just really, you remember, like it was just horrible at that first beginning bit. And then all of a sudden I just reached out to a business that I knew, and I said, look, can I come and do this online with you, because I can feel it works. And I did it, and then next thing someone booked me, and then I got paid for a job, and I was just like, wait there, I'm getting paid to run these laughter sessions online. And that's sort of, the rest is history.
Well, I can only imagine that because of the pandemic, right? And because so many organizations are looking for more employee wellness, or, what I love is because my area happens to be workplace well-being.
Mhm.
And, this has been a busy time in regards to, companies trying to figure out what that looks like and trying to be able to support their team. I would think also that puts, your work in terms of laughter in true high demand.
Definitely, definitely. And it's although Dr. Kortni, I'll be honest, a lot of people don't know about it. So it's also quite hard where, or when people come along and I put a lot of videos out, I put a lot of laughter stuff where, it just that I don't know whether it's the UK. I just definitely we're a lot more reserved over here. Yeah. But laugh, you want me to laugh? Laugh for no reason at all. Yes. Why? Because it'll make you feel good. Like, yeah, we're happy with our bowl of fruit, thank you. That's our work. That's our well-being sorted. And it's just like, yeah. So, but the companies that do book me have that agenda, to really start to be thinking about their team's welfare, especially where we're not in the same room anymore. We're all in our screens, and and you just don't know where. Some people are sat at the end of their bed. That's their desk at the end of their bed because they live in a shared house, and it's just like, actually, it's crazy, really, how it's affected a lot of people. So it's it's really important, and I'm really championing to say, look, just trial this. Seriously, just give it a go and open your mind up, because actually this is the opportunity, I think, for a lot of wellness practitioners, to especially the ones that are a bit more left field, to actually just go, look, this is a thing and it works, and it's got so many benefits that why would you not want to try it?
Absolutely. Well, it's interesting because, as I was doing my research preparing for our segment, I remember, that I actually watched a story about laughter yoga, a couple of years ago. And so I was so happy to be able to see even, a little bit more that's out there. But it sounds like to me that you also have to find yourself kind of not only serving as this champion, but almost doing a little bit of outreach in terms of
Mhm.
teaching people a little bit more about the benefits and the value and the importance of laughter yoga, especially as it relates to, what that can mean scientifically.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think it's and again, I didn't know any of the science facts behind it, and until I learned how to do it. I just know how it made me feel, and then it's just like, well, wait there, like you said, release of the endorphins, the serotonin, the dopamine. It triggers your vagus nerve. It's just got all this really good stuff going on, and then actually when you get a full laughter session where you get to the uncontrollable and you cannot stop laughing, and you've got tears in your eyes, you know that feeling, and that high can last like half a day to
Wow.
12 hours, 15 hours. People, I've laughed with people in the evening that have spoken to me about the fact that they suffer a little bit from insomnia, and I'm just like, just out of interest, and like, just let me know in the morning how you slept, and then I'll message them and they're like, I slept really well last night. I was like, isn't that interesting? And we don't need medication. Like, they're obviously, some people, don't get wrong, that some people do need medication. I get that, but actually there's proof that people have used laughter to overcome illnesses because of the way it works with our body. It improves our immune system, it strengthens. We've got all these T cells flying around our body, we've got fresh oxygenated breath, we're taking big breaths in, which obviously then is firing up all this goodness in our body.
Well, it's interesting as you're sharing. I thought to myself, wow, this is such a great initiative. It's really wonderful, and especially during this time as we're dealing with so many different stresses, right, as it relates to the pandemic, and that you are sharing, the humor, right, and really the fine art of laughter. You know, also, I know that one of your missions happens to be, was it 1 million people that you're looking to actually help 1 million people laugh? How did that all come about? and where are you ranking so far? And look, and how are you keeping account of that? What is he talking about accounting earlier, right? Like what how does that happen?
Well, I've got a really big spreadsheet just over there where I've got a little tally chart. So, you're one. Thank you very much. So, the mission came about at the beginning of the year where I was just like, I need to think bigger than I am. That was the plan. I was just like, actually, to bring laughter to 1 million people. I was just like, actually, no, to bring laughter to 1 million people. And I put by the end of this year, that was my plan. Now, yeah, I might not get there, to be honest, but hey, I've definitely hit 100,000, I would say, across different platforms. Just again, because I was on Clubhouse at the beginning. I was in rooms on Clubhouse where there was like maybe 700-800 people, and I was just coming up onto stage only for like 2-3 minutes, and all I would do was just go ask the question, and then I go, do you mind if I just bring a bit of laughter to the room? And the host would be like, yeah, go for it. And then I'll just get everyone on stage laughing. Literally that exercise we did. So we're not talking a full laughter session, but we're just in, giving people's little intrigue, I suppose. A little people, people are just going, okay, yeah, I'm interested a little bit. This guy sounds a bit wacky, but he sounds really happy. He sounds really like energized. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. It's like, and I do know what I'm talking about. So, I think it's, so where am I? I would say I'm at about a quarter of the way. Let's say a quarter. It sounds good. 250,000.
I love it. It sounds good. It sounds good to me. I would tell you that, Pete. I love it in regards to the fact of really that is to me such an amazing mission in regards to really bringing joy, right? And laughter and humor and levity to so many people. I think that's just so phenomenal. Talk to us also a little bit about the value for individuals in terms of mindset, because earlier we kind of touched on that as it relates to people that might find it very challenging to laugh. But what about those individuals that kind of need a shift in mindset in regards to how they see laughter, but really also maybe their relationship with laughter?
Yeah, I think it's if you struggle to laugh, then it's like I said at the beginning, it is just an out breath. It is just a ha on an out breath. And even if you just try, if you're listening and try that exercise, just try it. Just and it might not come naturally. I get that. There are people that have come up to me and just like, I can't laugh, but they've been in a room where they're surrounded by people who do laugh, who are laughing, and the energy, and they feel that energy like around them. So it naturally, if you surround yourself with people that are happy, or you watch films that make you feel happy, make you feel good, then you naturally feel more lifted as a mood. So I would say if you're unsure, then just think about the last time when you laughed. What made you laugh? Who made you laugh? Spend more time with them. Just reach out to them and just try it. Just try a little ha ha ha. Go on.
See, I tried it and I automatically got right into it, right? Right? Ha ha ha. And it's so contagious, right? Yeah. I hear your laugh and I just want to laugh. And it's interesting, when I was looking at some of your videos, I started laughing. I said, okay, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to learn, because I wear emotions. And so, I was like, I'm going to have to really learn how to calm down for this one, but I think it's great to be able to let go and to be free and to just be, and yet just laugh. Right. Yeah. And I love that in terms of the work that you're doing. And so for those of us who, those of us who value laughter, right, who value humor, how can we continue to value, and what can we do to be able to, how can I say this? Because laughter, depending on how you process or depending on what it can be, could also be harmful, right? Depending if you're laughing at someone, or, if especially if they don't want to be, have that level of humor, right? With
Mhm.
them. And because a person has every right to do that, right? But how can a person really embrace the positivity of laughter and not the harm that it can possibly cause?
I just think that's a really good question. It's a really good question, and I'm going to have a little think about this. So how I think I I just I would just say just go with the flow and just trial it. I mean, you can silent laugh. You don't need to laugh out loud. You can inwardly laugh. You can smile. Even smiling is just such a easy way, and a smile is contagious as well as a laugh. So um but yeah, I don't really know the answer to you knew that was coming though, because I said it was a really good question.
No, but I think what you're saying is, is really just valuing, the process. And when someone, and I say that because, sometimes when we're looking at humor, we can deal with the dynamics of, because let me just say this. I believe that humor also has a lot to do with trust, right?
Mhm.
As crazy as this may sound, I think it has a lot to do with trust. But then when you are, laughing, or maybe really instance is cracking a joke at someone else's expense. Of course, that is not what this
No.
is about, right? This is really about embracing yourself
Mhm.
and really valuing the value and the importance of those positive emotions, which is humor. Am I right?
Yeah, completely. It's not about jokes and humor. It's not about, laughing at other people's expense.
Hmm.
That's not what it's about. I think the most that I've laughed, I suppose, when I've been in a situation, it is at someone else's laugh, and that's because people have got beautiful laughs. There's so many. You've got the little grunter that's brilliant, the little snorter, and that's amazing. And I've even picked one up. I never used to have one, but now I'm like, yeah, I've got that. There it is. And it's just like, oh, you got the sort of laugh, and it's just like, but if everyone's got a laugh, and it's so genuine when we get to that point, and it's sort of, I think it is quite scary when you get to the the moment where you are laughing uncontrollably, because you are so present at that point, and the vulnerability is massive at that point. And I get that. And what's really interesting is there's definitely more females that are open to laughing than men. Like men, it's really hard to try and get men to stand and like laugh with you, and to get that uncontrollable laughter, and which I think is really interesting. I think that's, again, there's something there about men not wanting to let go of their barriers. They'd rather not be vulnerable, whereas women are more open to laughing, and I suppose maybe just understanding that, how, understanding the value of their well-being by being vulnerable and laughing and opening up themselves. So it's but when you're in that moment of pure, like, uncontrollable laughter, like I said, there's none of this comes into the world. You all that stress or anxiety that you had, or that overwhelm, none of that's there. You are completely present in that moment of time, and it's just a magical place to be. So, and I think as long as you're in a safe environment when you're doing it, then that's absolutely, that is really, really important. I'm not saying just go out and laugh in the middle of nowhere. Well, laughing on your own, you can do quite easily.
Yeah.
It's yeah. So yeah, hopefully that's answered the question.
It did really. I love the fact that, that you mentioned the value of it allowing you to be present, which I
Mm.
which I really never thought about before, to be honest with you. I'm like, that is so true, because when you are laughing, right, and you are, especially when you are so immersed in the laughter, you are completely present in regards to whatever's in front of you, whatever either has made you laugh or what is bringing joy to you. So that in itself is such a gift, especially when we are in a world where we're working on trying to make sure that we are present, trying to make sure that we are mindful. And that really helps us in terms of being mindful.
Definitely. It's a form of meditation. It definitely is. It's like I say, there's a moment. I mean, so this morning I was on Clubhouse every morning, Monday to Friday in the UK time. I laugh for 10 minutes. I set up a room, people can come along. And this morning I did something a little bit different. I didn't actually guide it as such. I didn't talk. I just laughed with people, and then because people were already there, so they knew, they were regulars, so they're like, right, okay. And it was wonderful. I'll let you into a little secret. I didn't really feel like laughing today either this morning. I was a bit tired, a bit grouchy, a bit like, oh. But the reason I've set out the accountability to turn up at 8:15 every morning is because I know when I step away from that 10 minutes, I'm just like, right, let's get on with the day. What do I need to do? I need to do, and everything's firing up. So it's just this really magical place where you can just get to this zen. It is like a zen place, like meditating. So I mean, I meditate as well, and like, I've meditated up to 30 minutes is probably the furthest I've gone, and you get into that sort of sweet spot where everything just disappears, doesn't it, around your mind and your consciousness, where laughter is quite an easy way of getting there without having to sit there quietly and just try and clear your mind.
Absolutely. Well, I could laugh with you all day. And it's interesting because when Pete and I, actually, when we started this conversation, I told him, I said, oh, there's so many things going on in my house. And it's interesting, as I'm recording this podcast, I hear the lawn guy. He's outside right now, outside my window. But what's so interesting is that because Pete and I are talking about laughter, because Pete is so positive. He's sitting here and we're talking, and he has his wonderful smile on his face. I am now he's changed it. Now he's turned his smile upside down, just out of humor, right? But it's so great because it has allowed me to just be present, talking to you, being able to really value this time that we have. So I can see how, you have so many people that are coming to you as it relates to laughter yoga and the value and the power of laughter. So before we go, can you share maybe some positive activities that our listeners can do so they can continue to have and to embrace humor in their life?
Completely. So I definitely laugh. You need to laugh more. Now, to laugh more, you need some sort of guidance. And I've got a 5-day challenge, Dr. Kortni.
Ooh, I like this.
I know.
I love homework. I love it. I'm one of those people. I love homework. I'm like, yes. Look.
so I set up this challenge for exactly for the people listening, where I was just like, actually. And there's a goal. I'm all about goal setting as well. I believe that we need goals and we need vision. To achieve greatness, we need to keep ourselves going. So in the 5-day challenge, literally you need to set yourself a goal at the beginning. And it could be like, I need to clear my garage. I need to mow the lawn. I need to paint the spare bedroom. It could be anything. And the first day there's a 2-minute video. Second day there's 3, 4, 5, and then it goes up to an 8-minute video on the last day of me just guiding you through some laughter. And just, you can sign up, and I'll give you the page link if that's okay to put in the show notes, and literally try it. And you don't need to, okay, I would advise to try and do it in the morning, because that will get your vibration into the best place. But you can do it at any time of the day. Don't binge it. Don't do like laugh, because that just,
it's not like Netflix.
It's not like Netflix, is it? It's not like Netflix. But it's and it's just try it. Just try it, honestly. And if you don't like it, that's cool. At least you can say, hey, I tried that laughter. I don't like the laugh. I tried that thing. I prefer to be unhappy, or not unhappy is not the right word. Just prefer not to laugh or not to force myself to laugh. It's just like, yeah. So there we go.
I love it. We will certainly have it on the episode page so you can be able to access it there. So tell us also, Pete, where can our audience find you?
So the best place to find, well, my website's petecann.com. That's CANN for November. And on social, just hashtag the Laughter Man. If you put that on Google, I come up on different social channels. I'm on there just putting out content, laughter videos. They're out there, and just try it, just follow along, and trust me, you won't regret it.
You will not regret it. And honestly, we will have all that information on Pete's episode page. And, because courting happiness is so much about committing to one's, happiness journey and their well-being. I asked this question of every guest. And of course, I want to ask the Laughter Man. And that is, what do you do to commit to your happiness or well-being? What is one or two things that you do to make sure that you are committing to it?
So obviously the number one needs to be laughter. It needs to be laughter. That's goes without saying. So I laugh daily. I laugh, and more than once, but I have the structured morning laughter session that I'm there. And then obviously when I have interviews like this, I laugh as well. So that's my number one. And my second would be family. Yeah, just spending time with family. And, it's the summer holidays now, for the children are off. We've got some camping lined up, and just spending quality time. It just fills the pot with joy. And it just, we're like I say, we don't work to live, do we? We work to live. We don't live to work. I think that's the right way around.
Yes, I think. Look, yes. It's so interesting, Pete. You can say anything. I'm just always going to say yes, Pete, because you are just, honestly, guys, he is such an incredible person. He is such a phenomenal person. And I really treasure this time that we had, Pete. I treasure all of the laughter. And I am so grateful that you shared it with us here on the Courting Happiness podcast. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Dr. Kortni.
Let's continue this conversation online. Email us at podcast@drkortnialston.com. That's podcast@drkortnialston.com. Join us on Instagram at Courting Happiness. Don't forget, that's courting with a K. Also, I hope you join our private Facebook community. You can find us at Courting Happiness Podcast Community. Our private Facebook group is a safe haven to share, meet more people looking to build positive relationships, focus on well-being, and create a happier life. Now, are you ready to spread happiness? We hope you subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, coworkers, and all the important people in your world. We release a new episode every Thursday. Congratulations on your continued commitment to your courting happiness journey. Thank you so much for listening. We want you to be well, be happier, and be kinder to yourself. We can't wait to see you next week.